With CSUMB, it's very much about giving students that practical experience as well as getting, the educational academic component of their degree. And so with CSUMB, they try to incorporate a lot of practicality in their programs, whether that be incorporating internships, whether that be incorporating, volunteer work. So with our campus, we are a nationally recognized service learning institute. And so part of the program, students are required to complete 60.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Coffee Chat with Adam. I have my coffee right over here. So Jay, do you have your coffee with you? Oh wait, coffee right here.
I sure do.
Oh wait, it's not showing. Oh, there we go. It was hiding, it's blending in with the background. Okay. So today is another episode. As I said, we're going to be talking about California State University, Monterey Bay. So we're going to delve into details about the university, about some of the unique aspects of the university, such as the teaching methodology and also the location, because it's quite a unique location, I have to say. We can also talk about some of the how does it feel to live as a student at the university, and also some of the work integrated learning aspects of the university that you have option to choose while you're studying there. So I'm just gonna delve directly into the questions and ask Sujay Ronquillo, how are you doing?
I am doing quite well. I can't believe that we are getting close to the holidays, but very excited, and also excited to start a new semester in the spring.
Yes.
So
Sujay, actually, I would like to know more about your position at the university and also some of those duties that come along with that position that you're currently in.
So my role, I am actually the academic programs coordinator, and I'm also the regional rep for our Latin America and East Asia recruitment efforts. So my role with the academic programs coordinator position is to assist international students with academic advising, course selection, pretty much anything related to their academics. I'm pretty much there to ensure that they have successful semesters and that they graduate, which is the reason why they're there. And then my role with recruitment is more so to bring awareness to our campus and then also help students apply and attend CSUMB. A little bit more about myself. I attended CSU Monterey Bay as well, so I am a CSUMB alumni. So that's really nice because I can, touch base on some of the experiences that I had as a student, and then also bring in some of the experiences that I've had as staff working with students now in this time.
Mm-hmm. I think that's actually better for you to have experience living as a student in the university first before working for the university, because you can relate to students when they have these issues or questions or anything that they're just concerned about, and you say, look, I know how it feels. Okay, I've been there. Yeah. So it feels great to actually work in this field. I do agree with you. What I would like to know more about is the university itself, some of the historical insights or some background about the university. So could you please tell us more about the university itself?
So CSU Monterey Bay, we're located in the central coast of California. California is rather large. And so in our area, we're in a very amazing natural beauty, environmental, great area. So we're close to the ocean, we're close to mountains, forests, beaches. So we have we have a quite unique area that really allows students for, outdoor activities, great Instagram pictures, and it also allows them to be part of a close-knit community. Because we found that because of the natural beauty, we get a lot of residents that decide to stay permanently. And so it's nice to have a small community where students feel like they can get to know the area and get to know the people as well. Mm-hmm. Monterey is a pretty small city. We have about 28,000 residents. But even though we are a smaller city, we have very easy access to some of our major metropolitan areas in California, such as San Francisco and San Jose. We're about, I would say, 2 hours south of San Francisco and about an hour south of San Jose, which is where the Silicon Valley is. We have pretty much the ideal climate. We don't have snow. We don't get, major season changes. It's pretty much the same typical climate year round, which is nice because you don't have to, take out your wardrobe per season. You can pretty much have everything year round.
Yeah.
And our campus used to be an old military base. So in 1994, President Clinton actually converted the old military base into a CSU campus. And so we're relatively new. We're 25 years in and we're definitely growing. We are a very large campus, but we have a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for improvement. And because we are, a little bit smaller, we have about 8,000 students. It really gives our students the feel of being part of a private university because they get to partake in a lot of great opportunities that probably wouldn't be available at a larger campus.
And I think that actually, What I would say is like if this is a small amount of students or small student population, it's actually good for students because they will be taken good care of, in my opinion. So it's not really a negative; it's more of a positive aspect actually. So, yeah.
Exactly. And then our popular majors are business administration, psychology, kinesiology, biology, and computer science, since we are next to the Silicon Valley. And so again, with these popular majors that are not only popular at our campus, pretty much popular nationwide, again, it gives students the opportunity of partaking in internships and, like you said, just getting a little bit more attention and getting opportunities that they wouldn't get at a larger campus.
So you did mention the location. You mentioned about the different majors that are available at the university. What I would like to know more about is the teaching methodology the university uses. So is it more research based or is it industry? So industry focused. So you have connection with the industry partners and teaching is based on what the industry demands, for example. So how does the teaching methodology looks like at the university?
With CSUMB, it's very much about giving students that practical experience as well as getting, the educational academic component of their degree. And so with CSUMB, they try to incorporate a lot of practicality in their programs, whether that be incorporating internships, whether that be incorporating, volunteer work. So with our campus, we are a nationally recognized service learning institute. And so part of the program, students are required to complete 60 hours of community service, of volunteer work that is either related to a particular subject or that's related to their field of study. Normally students will complete 30 hours of community service in their lower division, so when they're completing their first 2 years, and then they complete 30 hours in their upper division, which is their junior and senior year. Normally within their lower division, they complete hours based on their area of interest. They're not required to complete volunteer work that's related to their field of study. But once they go into their junior and senior year and they must complete their upper division service learning requirement, they actually do volunteer work in their area of study. So I'll give an example. For our computer science students, they'll go and work with our local organizations or with the local school and teach the youth on computing, on coding. With our business program, we have students that are volunteering with close organizations as well, and helping not only bring awareness more to social justice issues happening in the community or issues happening within the organization, but they're also learning how to be experts in the field and how to get that experience as well. And with some of our programs, an internship is actually required. So for example, under our College of Business, we offer the major of Sustainable Hospitality and Management. And so for our hospitality students, they're required to take on an internship for a semester. And the program has a very close relationship with some of our leading businesses in Monterey. And so students complete their internship with some of our local businesses that will host the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, that hosts the big golf tournament, and some of the really big local resorts and hotels. And so students, again, are getting that practical experience outside of the classroom. In addition, each year, or each student must complete a capstone project at the end of their study. So for our business students, they actually work alongside local businesses and local organizations and help them in areas of their field of study. So for example, under the major of business, there's various focus that students can take. So they can either focus in marketing, finance, international business, management. So there's various areas. And students, when they're doing their capstone and working with those organizations, they have that specific focus. So again, that they can add that to their resume and build on their experience. So CSUMB not only wants to prepare them academically, but wants to prepare them as well for the workforce. Since we know that nowadays a degree is just, for you to get your foot in the door. Now it's about having that experience, having that practicality, and being able to pretty much back up, the knowledge that you've earned with your degree.
That's actually quite good, because I believe having that experience will boost not only the knowledge that you've accumulated from the bachelor degree, but also to gain even further knowledge. So one day when you graduate, you actually have the opportunity to work immediately, like as soon as you finish. So I believe the employability is also quite high for the students who go to, you call it CSUMB. That's the, I think that's much easier for me to pronounce than saying the full university title. So CSUMB, I like that. So it is actually quite good to have all these options. You said social work, that they have as part of their bachelor as well. 60 hours, you said, or was it 30 hours?
Yes. 60 hours.
60 hours, right? And then they have the capstone project, which is great. And you said one more thing, they also have option to internships as well?
Yes, they can do internships. So some programs require it as part of their study, but mostly all departments offer it as, just a way for them to get experience and get academic credit as well. Our international students, since they're on an F1 visa, they can partake in CPT, curricular practical training. And so with our campus, they will enroll in an internship course, work with their faculty. Sometimes these internships are paid, and so they can, make some extra money as well while earning academic credit.
That's always good to know. You can make money while studying. It's quite attractive, yeah. So how long do these internships usually take? Like 6 months, or is it like integrated while they're actually studying the program? So it shouldn't be longer than 9 weeks, or do you know the exact duration for these internships?
It just depends. So if an internship is required, the minimum is a semester-long internship, which would be about 16 weeks.
Right.
But there's really no, limit. It's a case-by-case basis. If the student finds an internship that has really no time limit, they can, continue as long as they're a student. We have some students that maybe only want to take on an internship for 3 months. So it just depends on the student, depends on their internship and what they've agreed upon with the organization.
Right. That's still very good, I think. What I would like to ask you more about, or I should go backwards a little bit and ask for something that the students who are watching the episode today is quite relevant to them, and it's the NCUK requirements. And I believe you did tell me before we started recording that we were focusing on the subject stream. So you said it's a CCC for each subject. And for the language course, the EAP, we're expecting students to have at the minimum a C grade. So of course, students will be aiming higher, but that's the minimum requirement. The higher, the better. So we'll definitely be having students coming from B's or A's as well, and that's always much better than the minimum requirement of a C. So yeah, and what I would like to ask you more about is the scholarships. Actually, this is something I would like your input on. So what are some of the scholarships that are available at the university, and how can students apply for those scholarships?
Of course. So for our international students, if they're on an F1 visa, which mostly they will be, they're eligible to apply for our international student non-resident fee waiver. And so if they are awarded the fee waiver, they can use that to help pay their out-of-state tuition, their non-resident tuition fees. And so they can earn as little as $1,000. That's the lowest amount that we've awarded. And they can get the full waiver, which can be up to $14,000. And that would be for the year. And so it depends on how many units they take, because that's what calculates their tuition. And the scholarship is given directly, is paid directly to our accounting office so that their tuition is paid for. If students want to apply, they just need to have a minimum GPA of a 3.0. And then they just need to complete our scholarship application, which is an essay-based application. We ask a set of 3 questions that touch base on their academic achievements, their financial need, as well as their experience in their community. So their community involvement, their leadership experience. And so we ask students that they can pretty much just touch base on any experiences that they've had. And so we want to get to know the student a little bit more. Yeah, so these scholarships are competitive, and a small percentage of applicants do receive the scholarship, but we definitely encourage all students to apply. Like I said, it's given for the academic year, so students must apply each year if they do decide that they want to apply for the scholarship. And then in addition, from our international student non-resident fee waiver, we have different departments and colleges that offer scholarships. For example, our College of Business has scholarships available that international students can apply for. With these scholarships, they require students to be part of a major, and normally they can begin applying after their first year. So once they're in their sophomore year, their second year, they can begin applying for these major and department scholarships.
Right. So there's just one thing I would like to ask about the scholarship that you mentioned earlier. So some of them, they can apply to them, and some of them are automatic, or all of them, they have to submit an application for those scholarships.
They would have to submit an application for all the scholarships.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the 14,000, was it 14,000? Was that right? Yeah, it's 14,000 scholarship. Was that so the students have to have been at the university for at least 1 year before they can apply to a scholarship, or before they come to the university they could also apply for that scholarship? So is it only available from year 2 and above, or it's available from year 1 as well?
For the international student non-resident fee waiver, they can apply while they're students, if they're continuing students, but they can also apply as new students. So we have 2 applications. We'll have an application for continuing students that are here, past their year, and then we have an application for new applicants as well.
Right. Okay. Good to know. That's good. And then you said there are some faculties that offer scholarships as well, like the Faculty of Business. So what I would like to know more about is the actual faculty itself, because now we know that they offer a scholarship. So what I would like to know more about is the Faculty of Business, because you mentioned earlier that the Faculty of Business does offer scholarships, but I would like to know more about the faculty itself. So the ranking, and also some of the teaching that the faculty uses, and what makes the Faculty of Business more unique at the university compared with other universities.
Of course. So the different departments will offer scholarships available to students, but with our faculty, we've had the privilege, because we're so close to the Silicon Valley, we've had the privilege of hiring faculty that have been directly in the field. And so that's a benefit for students, because they're getting they're teaching from experts that have actually, been successful and can provide further feedback to students. And so with our faculty, we found that students can find internships directly with working with their faculty. They can identify certain faculty as mentors, and they can also build those connections that help them after they graduate. We found that students have been able to connect with professors after graduation and find jobs, ask for letters of recommendation, and that's definitely been very successful for our students. Our College of Business is also very active in international education. We have a faculty member that's actually a representative for the California State University International Program System. And so he serves as a liaison and helps create some of these faculty-led programs to help students, study abroad or get a different experience than from just being at the university campus. And so I think that that's a great opportunity for students, because, it gets them to build that network and that relationship with professors that, again, they probably wouldn't be able to do at a larger campus, just because, at a larger campus, professors have so many students and it's very hard to really build on that relationship. But, at CSUMB, because our class size is about 20 to 30 students, it really allows professors to get to know, students in the major and really get to know their students.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree with you. I think that's a great opportunity for students to build that network with that relationship, connection with the professors as well, which will quite beneficial for their future. But I think, since you mentioned the faculty itself, what I would like to know more about is there any opportunity for students, for example, students who would like to take a double degree or double majors, but I think double degree are more attractive right now for some students, because they consider that the opportunity to take double degrees and specialize in two fields, for example. Are there double degrees available for students, for example, and also double majors, and how do they look like at the university, for example?
Double majors are definitely an option at Cal State Monterey Bay. Students need to work with both departments, both academic departments, to ensure that they're meeting requirements and that they graduate with a certain amount of units. And so they do need to declare both majors once they've completed their second year. And then that would allow the student, again, to have enough time to complete their area of study. But in addition, students can also take on a minor. And so if they already have their major and they don't necessarily want to take on a double major, they just want to take on, an extra field of study, a minor would only take about 4 additional classes. And so we've seen students have, very interesting combinations. For example, we'll see students that major in business and will have a minor in art, or will have a minor in computer science. And so it's just another option for students to kind of, build on their academic interests and their career goals as well.
It's good to know the option is there, because I do get this question a lot from Vietnamese students nowadays, is they're asking me whether if it's available, and I say, okay, well, I have to check with you, but here you are. You got the answer live via the video. So it's a yes, they do have the option to select a major and a minor as well if they would like to. And actually, I can give you a quick story, because recently I talked to a student whose parents actually would like her to study accounting, but she doesn't like the program as much. She has more passion in psychology, for example, and she was asking whether she have the opportunity to, do a small courses related to psychology. And I think the answer is, again, a yes, that she can do that.
And we get that a lot. We get a lot of students saying, well, my parents want me to major in this, and they're paying for my degree, so it's something I have to do. And so receiving a minor is a great option because, like you said, it gives them the opportunity to still be able to study some courses that they find of interest. And I also want to add that at Cal State Monterey Bay, we also give the option, if students already have a bachelor's degree, they can apply for a second bachelor's at Cal State Monterey Bay, and it would only take them, I would say, around 2 years. And it would just be, at that point, students would just be completing the major requirements for their area of study.
Right. So on average, you said the bachelor degree usually takes 3 years, but
about 4 years.
About 4 years, okay. But if they have a bachelor's already, it takes 2 years instead. So that's half the period. Good. That sounds great. Okay, so I think since we already talked about the work integrated learning, what I would like to know more about is it easy to get a job after graduating from the university? And what kind of support does the university offer to students who would like to seek a job immediately as soon as they graduate? So,
of course. So with our campus, we have a career advising center. So students can schedule an appointment with our career advisors and get help with their resume, with their cover letters. At our career advising center, they also will have a list of employers that are looking for employees. They'll have a list of different jobs that are available. So that is definitely a great resource for students. But in addition, for our F1 students that will be applying for OPT, occupational practical training, after they have graduated, they will work with our office and they'll work with our immigration coordinator on applying for that work authorization. So they'll just receive support from our campus in the process. They can definitely reach out to faculty, to their respective departments and academic programs that they were part of. And faculty is always willing to assist CSUMB alumni in the process as well. So that's definitely a way that we support our students.
Perfect to know. What about students who would like to have, because I know you said Silicon Valley is right there, so they could actually, this is quite relevant to students who would like to have their own startup company, because recently I've been getting this a lot and I would like to know more about it. If students, for example, have an idea, like a business idea, and they would like to bring it with them to the university, do they receive any kind of support to develop that idea even further?
Okay, yeah, of course. No problem.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Yeah, so at Cal State Monterey Bay, we offer the Startup Weekend. And the Startup Weekend, like I mentioned, is available for mainly students, but it's also available for pretty much the public. Anybody in the community can apply to be part of the weekend. But this is the time where we get entrepreneurs and different businesses from the area, from the Silicon Valley, to come and get together and find, the next leading idea. And so students will work in groups and they'll come up with a business idea, come up with a business plan. At the end of the weekend, they will present it to the board or they'll present it to the committee. And then one group is selected. Once the group is selected, they'll work with the different entrepreneurs to pretty much build on the idea and start the business. And so this is a great opportunity for students that already have business ideas. And even if they're not selected, it's a great way to network and a great way to also add this to their resume and say, hey, I participated in this event and, this is what it was about. So we try to come up with some of, cool events like these that students can participate in. It's been a very, very popular event.
Sounds actually quite good for students who come to the university with ideas already, because recently I think with COVID-19 has done to people is staying at home and then developing like ideas all of a sudden. And some students actually asking like, can I actually do it even now? And I'm like, you have to wait to get to university first and you can do it, but you can start developing the idea, of course, have some kind of a proposal with you, start going out, like doing some research on the internet, talking to some professionals who have done this previously, and then probably when they come to the university, they can develop that even further and then present it to the committee, like you said, at the startup weekend. And if they get selected, they can develop it even further, probably get some investors to invest in their idea as well. It's great. It's actually great.
And then I also want to add, faculty is a great resource for students. So even if they don't participate in events like these and they already come to campus with a business idea, faculty is always willing to work with students. And so if they want to, find a mentor or, work with faculty to build on their idea, I mean, I've heard of students doing that as well.
Right. Yeah. It's true, like the faculty professors are your first connection to the field as well. So it's a good idea to build up that connection. I agree. So Jay, what I would like to know more about, and it's something that I'm always curious about, is the campus itself. How does it look like to live on campus? What are some of what's the mixture between international students and local students? And also, are there any clubs and societies that are available to the students? So just a general idea about the campus.
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned earlier, we have about 8,000 students. Roughly 5% of that is our international student population. We are trying to grow that to 10% and, have a little bit of a bigger population. But that's where we are right now. And in terms of living on campus, housing is actually guaranteed for international students that apply for housing. And so we have a variety of apartments, we have residential halls, we have suites that students can select from, and we do have as well as some off-campus housing that students can select. Because we have on-campus housing, we have a lot of resources on campus that students can utilize. So we'll have a sports center, we have an outdoor pool, we have a brand new student center, the library, we have that available for students as well. So we have all these different resources that students can utilize while living on campus, and that doesn't require for them to go off campus and seek them. In addition, we do offer a variety of different activities. We have over 80 clubs and organizations that students can join and participate in. Those are definitely available for international students, and we definitely encourage for them to participate, because we found that, the more students engage in activities and the more that they are involved in campus, they feel more of a connection and they feel more like part of the campus community. And so we want to make sure that students feel that connection, because it's a big part of their experience. And in addition, we are an NCAA Division II sports university. So we do have 12 athletic teams that students can choose from if they do play sports. And then in addition, we do have intramural sports. So if students don't want to do maybe a organized team, but want to do more of like a club type of sports activity, that's also available. So we try to get a lot of activities that students can participate throughout the semester. And even for this semester, even though we had a virtual term, a lot of our activities were virtual and available for students.
Nice. That's actually quite good for students who are seeking to live on campus. But what about students who would like to live off campus? Is it possible for students to, for example, say they take 1 year on campus and then the next 3 years they decide to live off campus, like they rent a studio like in the city? Is it also available for international students to?
Yes, so if students decide to live off campus, all of these services are still available to students. So if they want to use the gym, if they want to, eat at the on-campus restaurants, everything is available to students.
Right, good. But from your experience, what do international students usually prefer, living on campus or off campus?
I would say a mixture of both. I feel like when they first start off, if it's, their first year, second year, they definitely prefer on campus just because it's very convenient. They can walk to class. They can get to meet more people. And I feel like once they've already established their group of friends, they feel more comfortable on the campus, then that's when they start seeking housing off campus, once they know the area a little more. Because I will say it is a little difficult to find off-campus housing, just because in the area we found that a lot of owners don't put a lot of their housing availability online, and so for students it's a lot easier once they've been in the area for quite some time to find off-campus housing. And so that's pretty much the trend that we found. But for the most part, I mean, we have students, live on campus for all 4 years, or we've had students that, have that lived off campus the entire 4 years. So it just depends on the student, but it's a lot easier for students to live on campus, especially because they don't need a car. They don't need, to figure out transportation to the campus. They can just walk to class, like I said.
Definitely, it's the best option. It sounds like it's the best option, I would say. I do agree with that. But I think it's just because some students are kind of curious about kind of becoming more independent and trying out living in the city by themselves. So it's good to know the option is there, but the recommended option, of course, is living on campus. It's much more preferred. Anyways, what I wanted to ask you for the next question is actually the financial, because a lot of students that I talk to, they consider their financial plan way in advance before they decide to travel, especially for students who are supported by their parents, which are the majority for our Vietnamese students. So what is for example, the tuition fee? What is the average student usually spends on a yearly basis, like on campus? And also, will that amount be enough for the student to enjoy living on campus as well as living in the city, so they could experience almost everything? So if you can give us like an idea of the financial plan the student have to prepare before they come to campus.
So the tuition for 1 year is approximately $16,000. We also like to add that housing is about $6,000 to $13,000 for the year. Health insurance, which is a mandatory fee for international students, is about $12,000 for the year. And then meals and personal expenses can range from either $6,000 to $8,000. So in total, it can be about $29,000 to $39,000. And that's just depending on, their housing, where they live, depends on how many units they take for the semester. And again, depends on their meals and personal expenses. So roughly about $29,000 for the academic year. And students have the option of, getting a payment plan to help with paying those costs. But in order for their first year, in order to receive their visa, they do need to show sufficient funding for that amount. So we would require students to show sufficient funding for either the $29,000 or the $39,000. And that's just the approximate amount. Again, students can definitely spend a lot less than that. And again, if they choose a cheaper housing option, if they're very conscious of their personal expenses, it can definitely be a lot cheaper. But because California is an expensive state, and the cost of living is a little bit more expensive than other states in the United States, you'll see that cost be a little bit higher. But we are considered one of the most affordable Cal states in California, and so we do try to keep our costs at a price that students can manage.
That's actually, I think it's quite useful to just know that idea in their mind. I know a lot of students are actually concerned about the overall price of the state, but I think a lot of students who decide to come to California already, they have in mind that, okay, the prices are there, but I think what you just suggested to student or taught a student about is actually quite useful, because that kind of gives them an idea of what to expect in advance before they make their decision. But definitely, I think I already talked to students who are quite interested in the university itself, so that's no worries about that. Okay, what I would like to actually ask you before we end the episode here today, because we had some great questions here and you were quite generous with the answers for those questions. Something I would like to know more about is not really know more about, I just want to know your personal advice to students who are watching the episode today. So what would you like to tell our students who are considering to apply to the university, and also so before they come to the university and also after they are there and studying?
My advice to students is try to find the best fit for you and do a self-assessment and really determine what it is that you are looking for from a university. All these campuses can sit here and tell you all these great things about what we're offering, but it's really up to the student to really find what it is that they're looking for. Are you looking for a big campus? Are you looking for a small campus? Are you looking for, easy to find internships? What are your career goals? What are your expectations? And then really start doing your research based on that. I would suggest students to definitely do, now with this virtual environment, there's the opportunity of doing virtual tours, virtual campus tours. So I would definitely suggest students to do that so that they can get, somewhat of an idea of the campus, get a feel for the area, and see if that's something that if that's a place that you can live for quite some time. We found that students, look into universities and, they're like, I want to go there. And they've, never really taken a look at the campus, didn't really know much about it. And then they get there and it's a shock. And so I think for students, if you do your research and, really check in with yourself, what it is that you want out of your experience, it'll be an easier way for you to select the best option for you. Because being at a campus where you feel comfortable, being at a campus where you feel like your needs are being met, that's when you'll get the full experience, and that's when you'll really get to enjoy your studies. Because, we do understand that, being in college can be stressful. You're there to study, you're there to get your degree, but you also want to enjoy the process and not be, hating your program or not be, unhappy at the campus. We want to make sure that it's the right fit for you and the right program as well. So the more you can do your research, the better.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely agree with that. And I think it's a great message. The students should do the research. And like you said, they can attend the virtual fair. Can they go on the website of the university and attend those virtual fairs? So it's available for
yes.
Okay, good. So do some research on the internet, do some research on YouTube as well. You can see vlogs probably by students about the university, so you can have a look at the campus or the life of a fellow student as well. So that's also a good option for a student to have a better understanding of the life in the university. Do agree with you, 100%. Agree with everything you said. So I'm looking at my notes here. I don't have any more questions. So I think it's a good time to end the episode here today. And I don't want to take a lot of your time. We're almost 1 hour in. So I would just want to thank you, Sujay, for your time today. You've been incredible, shared a lot of things about the university, about California State University, Monterey Bay as well. So thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for allowing me to be on your show and to talk about our campus. It's always a great time to connect with our partners.
Of course. Thank you very much. And so this is the end of today's episode. So thank you everybody who are watching, and we will be releasing more episodes the upcoming weeks. So stay tuned for those, and we'll be seeing you in the next episode. So take care everyone. Have a good night, and bye-bye.